So, I think this is a pretty good question. This question is influenced and comes from Soba Sanji on TikTok.
Oh.
He's probably one of my favorites to follow on TikTok. He mentions, imagine Oda never threw away the idea of bounty hunters. Zoro was hunting pirates as a way of living. Bounty hunters could have been a perfect replacement for the Shichibukai, and we could have seen possibly one on the level of Yonko. What do you guys think about this? And we'll go with Sebastian first.
All right, so when you say replacement for the Shichibukai, you mean like after they got demolished?
You have to I would say the bounty hunters are there. Mm-hmm. They've always been there. But the Shichibukai are now gone. Okay. And the bounty hunters kind of like take their place in a way.
All right, okay. I thought you were saying like the Shichibukai never existed in the series.
No, they exist.
Okay.
No, they exist.
Well, hell yeah. There's no reason why bounty hunters aren't more prevalent. I mean, I guess we don't have time for all that, but you could have just wrote one super dope bounty hunter, super dope group of bounty hunters and made an arc about it. We talk all the time about how there should have been an arc before Wano, before Luffy dealt with it. Easily could have made that a Bullet situation where bounty hunters were trying to get Bullet. Whatever. Just bounty hunters should have been more prevalent in the series because as of now, bounties are just a powered scaling tool that people use at this point. Like they're not what they could or should be in the series, and I love them because they're so hype and stuff. But like in general, like they don't do much other than create a number, and then we have to guess about what the number is and stuff like that. Like it's something to talk about. But if you had people actively trying to collect these bounties, like Luffy sailing, and it's not just Marines going after him, there's some Super Hawks bounty hunter, like. Say Crocodile had a group of bounty hunters, like not Crocodile per se, but somebody like Crocodile created an organization of bounty hunters. Like I think the closest thing we got was the guy Gene on
Gene Bandit.
Yeah, the bandit dude on Dressrosa in the Coliseum, and it's like you could have expanded on that on like a whole nother level, and just not even it doesn't even need to be a crazy long arc, like 15 to 20 chapters. Just do that, introduce a super strong character, have Luffy have to fight them. Deal with that. Maybe somebody does maybe they try to collect Usopp's bounty. You know what I mean? Like you could deal with a lot. And I know I said Usopp just to troll you, but in general, he's a weaker member of the crew with a high bounty. Like Usopp's bounty is higher than his actual skill level is to this point. Yeah. In most people's opinion, not mine, but whatever. But you get what I'm saying? Bounty hunters would have been dope. And I know they agree over there. So.
What about you, Lo?
Honestly, me and Lano have been talking about this for a good minute, where it doesn't make, I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense, but like Sebastian was saying, it should have been more in the show. Like, for example, to go in like DC terms in the DC universe, Los Lobos, what's his name? The University Bounty Hunter. What's it? Lobo.
Thank you, Marv.
Yeah, Lobo from the DC universe.
That first? That he popped into the thing?
That's what's up, Marv. MCU all day.
Yeah, but like Los.
I know you guys couldn't hear him, but Marv spoke.
Lobo from the DC universe, like he's a universal bounty hunter, and he's crazy strong. Like something like he could even fight Superman, right? But having that aspect in One Piece would have made the show even better, even greater. Because now, like you have all these crazy high bounty hunter bounties in One Piece from pirates and whatever. Yet who's trying to collect them? You know, like who's actually going after? Because they said that they would hear Ace's bounty and they would drill. They would see this person's bounty, and be like, oh, but no one's strong enough to go after them. And how dope it would have been, we're like, either a few bounty hunters or the same one that's strong and keeps coming after the Straw Hats. Like you only hear the main battles we see is like pirates and Marines and pirates. Why aren't bounty hunters on this level? Like, because this is money to be taken. Right now, the two biggest bounty hunters we got was Bandit, and Zoro, and he became a pirate. You know, like pretty much. Where are the rest of the bounty hunters? Because it should be like just like we see like a class of pirates. There should have been a class of bounty hunters, and honestly, even bandits. Like this is a world where like everyone's profession, because they show we got a little bit more of that in Dressrosa, where we're seeing military might and officers there, and we see one bounty hunter, and he was saying he was going after the level 6 prisoners, but there should be stronger ones to rival even. This is maybe too much, but like what bandit could go after the Yonko? Not one. You know,
Yeah.
It's just like it would have made the show a lot better and gave actually more stuff you could do with the show of more potential fighters for the Straw Hats or other pirates. You know, like fighting Yonko or fighting the Marines, where you have people like even you have a band that has like a sense of justice. Not only does he collect bounties, but he does it to feed his family and to take down these pirates who are running amok.
So I don't know if you can have a Yonko level bounty hunter.
Yeah. There should be.
It would be
No,
dope.
there shouldn't.
Yes, it would.
There shouldn't, because then every other pirate that's not on that level is just getting collected
Yo,
and taken
Park,
to the.
imagine Oda's just sitting right there and he's like, bro, is it not enough?
No, what I mean is like, if you're not Yonko level and you don't have a backing of a Yonko, and this Yonko level bounty hunter bears down on you, you're getting locked. Like, that's it. There's nothing you could do. There would just be the Yonko and that guy until any pirate ends up defeating him.
There would be a league of like assassins in a way.
Yes.
Because
I
there
mean-
would be a top dog running these assassins or bounty hunters.
So I've always talked about this too. Like at a certain point, these bounties that the Yonko level people get, they don't mean anything,
don't
right?
mean
Because there's nobody who's cashing in on them. But another point that I want to make is like, technically, when you think about the warlords, they kind of are the bounty hunters. Because like, what did Blackbeard do? Yeah, Moria was I'm pretty sure he was allowed to cash in because he was a warlord, and his position in the Grand Line was to filter out the pirates, and so he was and as a warlord, it's not like they're going after him, so they get Dang, another $20 super chat.
Yeah, it's crazy. It gets like this.
So the Moria was that, and then Crocodile was also, he had Baroque Works, right? That's a bounty hunter thing. So that's two of them, and both of them were kind of like filtering out pirates and getting out certain things. So when you think about it, the warlords were kind of like bounty hunters, and then you also think about it, Blackbeard's mission into the warlords. He collected Ace's bounty, essentially. Like, I don't know if he got the money from it, but he became a warlord after he gave them Ace, right?
You think they paid him?
So did
I'd be
Law.
so mad.
I don't know if they paid him. But when you think about the whole point of bounty hunters and what they're supposed to do, the warlords kind of did do that. Some of them. We don't know about like Kuma, what he was doing.
Dofi wasn't doing that.
Doflamingo had
was
an
already
interesting. Doflamingo had an interesting, system on his own, right?
Yeah.
Like being where he was, he could do whatever he wanted.
he had
right?
infinite money as far as we knew.
Yeah.
I think we skipped Lionel though. My bad.
Go Lionel. He was just like in trance. He's like, yo, this is so good.
No, you guys pretty much said what I kind of agree with. The only thing I have is like the whole about bounties being stronger than what we've seen is mostly the show is mostly about willpower. Can you what bounty hunter is gonna have a strong willpower than these people trying to become pirates?
Hold on,
Zorro, bro.
on.
He was a bounty hunter.
I was gonna say.
I get you, but his profession wasn't a bounty hunter. He just took up that name because he needed money and needed new swords. But his whole dream was becoming
Okay,
the
I can
world's
see
greatest
that. I can
swordsman.
see that.
I get you.
Hold on. That's a will of its own. Like, you might not think it's a big will, but it's a will unless, of itself.
I think what he's saying, though, is more like someone like Zorro and Mihawk, right? They weren't necessarily bounty hunters for the sake of bounty hunters. They were like, I'm going to be the strongest. I am the strongest.
They
so
could
it's
have
like,
had Mihawk bounty hunt as a hobby.
But we
Just
still
like, hey,
we
this is
still
fun.
don't know how Mihawk runs himself, because that was something I talked about in the Kaido video, where it's like at a certain level with the pirates, like Oda has been introducing like financial backing to a certain extent, and so it's like at the end of the day, when you think about the bounties that matter, they're not worth getting because the people are that strong, right? So you have to have Mihawk. Like, Mihawk would be the only pirate who doesn't have a crew, who can sail on his own, and how else is he making money, right? Everyone else has territories. Everyone else is
He's a vampire stripper.
like, he's using Perona, I don't know.
We did get a super
Perona's
chat.
like, yo, I'm gonna throw some negativity at you. And that's how he boosts his willpower and gets stronger.
That's fine. That's a good training. We did get a super chat consistent with this question. It's from Amanda Hug and Kiss. It's $20. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
It says, "Hey, don't sleep on Johnny and Yusaku now. They are a time. They have a time
Yo,
skip
I
now."
forgot about those two.
I mean, what they doing?
Nah, they're not doing that.
Yep. Because dang it.
Here's a good question. Do you think Oda's gonna bring back those characters like
Yes.
Jin?
Yes. Oh my God, I hope Jin comes back.
Some of these characters are meant to be brought back.
Not a no.
Adele's coming back.
Everyone's else coming back.
Part question. Were you one of those people that thought Jin could be who's who?
No, I didn't think that.
I was one of the
But someone said that he could be Green Bull, and I was like, wait.
No.
For a second, I was like, maybe, but then I was like, I don't think that would make sense for him to join the.
Anel coming back.
Yeah,
Anel's
Anel's coming back. Yeah,
coming back.
Yeah, Anel.
I believe it.
And he gonna die. Now, going back for the world thing, what Lino was saying, you could have someone trying to be the world's greatest bounty hunter. That's
Like collecting the highest bounty.
Exactly.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
You understand that's like Dragon and Kaido right now, right? You're gonna
We don't know
die.
Dragon's bounty, though.
You gotta work your way up to it.
Do you think Dragon's bounty is higher?
He should have the highest.
Because
Yo, low key,
if it's higher, is it because he's stronger?
Didn't they say his was the highest?
Yeah, the most wanted man.
listen, if he hasn't killed a celestial dragon with his bare hands, I don't see him having a bigger bounty than like Kaido.
He should, though.
Interesting
I'm
thing.
serious.
Honestly, going by what they said, he should have a higher bounty than Whitebeard. Maybe
Listen,
even Roger.
man, he just going after things that they scared of.
Because have you noticed?
That's it.
When
He's
they're
trying to overturn something that he can't do
when the
by
government
himself.
when the government was breaking down bounties,
Preach, Larry.
when the government was breaking down bounties, they said that Whitebeard and Go Roger had the highest bounty, right? But
pirates.
they only said for pirates. They didn't say in the world or
Listen,
in
Did
general.
they explicitly say pirate?
Just
Yeah.
pirates.
I'm gonna be real as hell with
So-
y'all. Dragon gonna disappoint us.
No, he's not. He's not gonna
Straight up. I'm calling it now.
See, I'm a big Dragon supporter, but I believe you.
Yo,
I believe you.
I'm telling you.
Disappoint. You know what? When he got shook, when Sabo got whatever happened to him, his face when he was reading
Listen,
the
man,
newspaper.
he don't even be
I
calling
was like,
shots.
come on, son.
But to be fair,
I was like, come on. Son.
to be fair,
I've been
Kaido
waiting.
hasn't rolled up on Marineford either.
You would think
Nah,
that
but-
somebody with a widow's peak as deep as his
Nah.
would be more badass.
You know what? You know what? Kaido, I mean, Dragon right where he need to be in that Vegeta lane. Not relevant.
Come on, bro. Like,
Not relevant.
you mean like Marco?
Same?
He,
Same
every
vibe.
chance he
Okay.
gets, he brings up Marco.
Okay.
He's a hater.
There's two things I feel like Oda should have added where he kind of messed up on. Was one, the bounty hunter thing. Also, other swordsmen trying to become the greatest swordsman.
Oh yeah, because there's
Yeah.
like two, right?
Yes.
And everybody's like, "Yo, Mihawk over Shanks."
Yeah,
Yeah. Who
it's-
Mihawk beat?
Oh my
Who
god.
Mihawk beat?
Because
Nobody.
Me and Albert talk about Zolo has not come across one person besides Mihawk trying to become the world's greatest
He,
swordsman.
he came across that Russ dude. That went hard for a second. That Russ guy was crazy.
Yo,
you remember that or
No,
not?
I don't.
You don't remember? Was that filler?
Russ-
It might
I
have
think
been
it was
filler, bro.
filler. No.
Zoro fought
yeah, it did,
a
'cause the sword.
Marine that could rust anything.
Oh,
They
that,
rusted the
I
sword.
was in his lobby, yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
he
was
caught
like,
he caught the sword.
I know he's
he was about to, he caught Zoro.
Yo, Future Sight. Real
imagine,
talk,
yo,
Future Sight.
imagine his training. He's just sitting there catching it.
Yeah, you know, blow Larry's mind. You know who beat him? For Zoro?
What's up? I remember that. I remember that.
All right, so we go on any other questions? Because I'm all out.
I have a question. Well,
Go
more
ahead.
of a comment. It's about your Kaido analysis
Yeah.
video, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. It's something that you were bringing up about Kaido being like America, and you were referencing the opioid crisis, slavery, the mass incarceration system,
Right.
his connection to all the world weapons and everything. And there's one thing that I don't think that you brought up that really vibed with me after I saw it, and it relates to Wano itself. Kaido's currently trying to drop an A-bomb on the Japanese equivalent of.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So it's like
I didn't
he
even realize
really-
that.
He really is America.
Yeah. So I didn't want to bring the Japanese stuff into it because not that I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I need to do way more research to make it make sense.
Okay.
But I did mention that his presence on Wano is very similar to America's presence in Japan after World War II. America screwed up so many things for them, and and they're still dealing with it, right? And another connection that I never brought up was one of the things after World War II is Japan was never allowed to have a defense, an offensive army. They only could have a defensive force. And you think about Wano too, all the samurais were either labor force or you joined his beast pirates. There was no other thing. It was pretty much crippling their ability. And I think Akainu, he was not afraid, but he held them in high regard. That's an island of samurais. We're not messing with them, right? And he does, in his basis is probably Odin, right? But it's kind of just one of those things where I feel not just with Kaido, I think Kaido was because when you think about it, right? The U.S. is a world power, right? And when you think about world powers, it makes sense that Oda would use the U.S. as a reference for all the world powers in One Piece. And so that, I think Kaido was the heaviest one, but Big Mom shared a lot. You think about the Navy, like them having bases all across the world, right? There's so many references, and it sounds like, oh, like, but Oda's Japanese, like, why would he use that? But it's like, the U.S. is a world power. They affected history so much, and you know, I always think about this thing with a lot of things. It's like, you can be the hero, but if you live long enough, you end up
become the villain,
right? And so, in a lot of ways, I think like the world government is an example of that, where it's like maybe they start off with great intentions, or they were good, or whatever it was, but they stayed long enough, and they are now seeing themselves being seen as the villain by everybody, right? So I think that concept plays like as an inspiration for a lot of things that Oda did, and Kaido especially.
Low key, Parvision just said that the D clan in the Ancient Kingdom were evil.
Yo, he did, and I didn't know how to take that just
I mean, so the other thing about it is perspective, right? Like, so, you know, when you think about, like, if Oda wants to give the premise of World War II to the D-Clan, I don't think that's what's going to happen. But a lot of things, it's like history's written by the victors, right? So it's like we don't know what the D-Clan is. I don't know if they're necessarily evil, but they're painted out to be evil, right?
Those who win justice.
Right, exactly.
Dofi always right, man.
Doflamingo, bro.
Yeah, he knows he knows.
Fortune cookie of the One Piece world.
Yo, somebody, Zan Burrs in the chat said Kaido for president.